The following is a presentation of Muddy River News.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
And welcome to the Daily Muddy. I'm Bob Gough, sitting in for Ashley Conrad. Carlos Fernandez stops by today with the Great River Honor Flight. Welcome.
Thank you. It's
you are
great to be here.
Getting ready for another trip.
Yeah, at number 63. Yes, it's an amazing it's an amazing thing. It says a lot about this community.
You guys have taken more than 2,000 veterans to Washington, D.C. That's a fantastic accomplishment.
I go back, Bob, to the first Greta annual meeting when Jim Mentesti was still running it. And as part of the presentation for what happened the year before, he put up the slide that said, an honor flight has taken 118 veterans to Washington, D.C. And I thought, and I saw Jim the other day, and I said, if you thought 118 was big, you know, I mean, 2009 and still coming. We have 6 flights planned for this year, and they're all filled up. So we're now booking for next year.
And you have, I was looking at the schedule. The rotation's great because you kind of bounce it to here. They'll leave from Quincy, they'll leave from Hannibal, they'll leave from Mark Twain High School. You guys are really reaching out to the area so any veteran who wants to do this can go.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, this flight on Thursday will leave out of Hannibal High School, and we've never left out of there. And it's because Hannibal Grange is in Easter recess, so they were not available. They didn't have the staff. And, they've been great partners for us all these years. But Hannibal High School is awesome. They just said, oh, absolutely. And it was great to do it there. They have great facilities. And then on the June flight, we're leaving from Mark Twain because probably almost every single veteran on that flight is from Rawls County.
That's great. My home county. So shout out to all those guys. I bet I know every one of those guys,
why
too.
Not? Why
That's
not
great.
Just make it, right there.
That is fantastic. How many are going this week?
29. Okay. 29 veterans and 26 guardians. And we've always kept it to that number, a small number. Simply, by the way, 29 veterans and 27 guardians because 56 seats is how many seats there are in a bus.
Right.
So that's our number. We've gone to, there's some honor flight groups that charter jumbo jets. And we run into them sometimes in Washington, D.C., and they'll have 180 veterans.
Wow.
And like 150 guardians. And I always thought that is, it's just, it's a great situation and it's a great experience, but we want to keep it personal. And since we do the homecoming and we make sure that every single one is announced, if you had 180, by the time you get to the 180th, the crowd will probably be a little thin.
And it does. You really have that when it's like 30 some guys or less. You have a really personal touch to it.
Oh my gosh, yes. That's the whole reason. People say, well, why don't you just charter a plane and leave out of Quincy instead of going out of St. Louis? And our answer has always been, if you charter a plane, then you're talking about a greater number of, you got to fill the plane.
Sure.
There's not a commercial airline flying out of Quincy, to Washington.
Right.
And the last thing we're ever going to do is try to do a connecting flight up there.
I hear you.
We did that once because of problems with schedules, and that was a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. So, what range are we looking at now for eligibility for those who might want to take part in the next one coming up? Not this one; it's booked already, but the next one.
Anyone who's served prior to or through 1985. Okay. What's happened is the fact that when this whole thing got started, it was only for World War II veterans, and it was started by a gentleman in Dayton, Ohio, by the name of Earl Morse. And he was a retired Air Force captain who was doing some volunteer work at the VA hospital in Dayton. And when the World War II Memorial got started or opened up in 2005, he started asking World War II vets when they came in, and he checked them in or whatever. if they were planning to go, and they all said yes. And then when they came back 6 months later, he was asking them again about had they been there, and not a one. Not a one. And he said, what a travesty to build a memorial, and those that it's built for can't go for whatever reason, health, money, time, I don't know, whatever. And so he went to his Aero Club in Dayton, because there were a bunch of pilots there, and said, I've got this idea, we ought to take these veterans to Washington to see that memorial. And all I ask is that they not be charged anything, and that there's somebody that goes along with them to just whatever they need,
Right.
And so he asked for volunteers, and 11 guys raised their hands. So the very first honor flight was 12 Cessna 172s with one pilot and two veterans in each plane. Is that awesome?
That's incredible.
Is that awesome?
That is just so great.
And now it's built to this, nationwide, and jumbo jets and things like that. We had him here once we got close to the end of the World War II veteran era. We had him here. We had a big celebration, and we had him here come talk. And he was a young man. He was awesome. But you just can't help, any idea, and from this itself, any idea has to start small. Everybody thinks, everybody thinks the Beatles were always popular, right?
Right, yeah, no.
Well, everybody,
they played in a lot of Liverpool bars.
Right, exactly. Well, I walked around, I made a lot of, talks to a lot of service groups, telling them about honor flight, and there were just blank faces, coming back at me. And now, it's how blessed we are and how lucky we are that it's almost a common name.
Well, again, thank you for the service that you and your team are providing for these veterans. Once again, kind of tell everybody what the schedule is for this weekend.
We'll leave this Thursday, April 6th. We'll leave about Hannibal about 2:15, 2:30 in the morning. We'll go down to St. Louis. We'll catch a Southwest flight. And the reason 62 out of the 63 flights we've done so far have all been on Southwest, simply because Southwest allows all the veterans to board first.
That's great.
Regardless.
Right.
You don't have to worry about having an 8 tube, 12, whatever.
Yeah.
And they allow them to board first. And in return for that thanks, when we get to our destination, all the veterans just stay seated and let everybody on the plane get off first. And then as they're going off, they're always saying, thank you for your service. And they start getting that feel of what the thing is all about. So we'll go to Baltimore, and people say, where are you going to Baltimore if you're going to D.C.? Because when we started, Southwest did not have a flight from St. Louis to D.C.
Right.
So we went to Baltimore, and then we found out that the Baltimore Fire Department at the airport does a water cannon salute.
That's great.
And it's so cool because there may be 5 or 6 planes taxiing. They know which one we're in. So the other planes don't get anything. And all of a sudden when we come on, they get this salute, and that's the start of the whole day. From there, we'll drive down to D.C., which is about a 45-minute drive. And we don't really have lunch in the bus, and also show them a movie which talks about the memorials they're going to see. So there's some things that they should know about them. And we go to we used to go to the World War II Memorial first, when there was all World War II. Now we go to the Vietnam Wall first. And this is not a guided tour, so we have a certain amount of time that it's spent in each area, and they can spend it however they want to. All we ask the Guardian to do is have your veteran back on the bus in time, because we are running on a schedule. So at the Vietnam Wall, they go there. They can also visit the Lincoln Memorial, and they can see the Korea Memorial. All 3 of them are close by.
Yeah.
And then after that, we go to the World War II, see that. After that, we take a tour of Washington. We just kind of drive around, get them close to the Capitol building, go down Pennsylvania Avenue, see all the, the FBI and IRS and whatever. It's all down there. And then from there, and the Navy Memorial, which I think is kind of cool. Navy Memorial is stuck on Pennsylvania Avenue, and it's got just like 4 or 5 fountains.
Yeah.
And the neat thing about those fountains is that it's supposed to have water from all the oceans of the world.
Yeah.
So all the Navy people bring water and pour it in there.
Oh, that's great.
And so that's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
And then after that, we go to Iwo Jima, which people used to think was a World War II memorial. and make a stop there. And then what I think is a highlight is we go to Arlington and go to see the changing of the guard. And when we first started this, we used to have to go to, just like anybody else, we used to have to go to the visitor center, buy a ticket on the tram to take them up to there. And we started kind of a letter writing campaign among honor flight saying, why would you ask people who serve their country to have to pay? And so now the buses are allowed to go all the way up to the changing of the guard and drop them off there. And that's just such a solemn thing. I mean, it just raises the hair on your arms and the back of your neck. And then we go to the Air Force Memorial, which overlooks the Pentagon and overlooks the whole city, have dinner there. And then we head back. And, we've had a few veterans from the St. Louis area, and they say, can I just meet you at Lambert, and then just, that way I can go home? He goes, you can. He goes, but we're reluctant to do that because you're going to miss on the homecoming.
Yeah, which is really cool.
And that's what's really cool.
Yeah.
And in fact, a veteran from this flight that's coming Thursday was planning to meet us in St. Louis, and after he was at the pre-flight yesterday, and after he heard what was going to happen, he goes, I think I'm going to come here, because I think he should.
What time is the homecoming then, again? Ballpark?
As I like to say, there's two things we don't control, weather and airline schedules.
That's true, yes.
If the airline's running on time, we should be back in Hannibal at Hannibal High School, the Gough Gymnasium, at about 10:15, which would be great. But again,
and that's on Friday night or Saturday,
Thursday night.
Thursday night. Oh, it's the same. That's right. Same day. Same day. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
We're as far west from Washington to do it all. I mean, I've talked to people with honor flight, like from San Diego. That's a 4-day trip.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And the expense of it alone is, but the logistics are amazing.
Right.
But we do it all in one day.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, well, again, thank you again. And, of course, head to Hannibal High to Gough Gym Thursday night if you want to say thanks to our veterans. Get them back in time just for Easter weekend and everything.
Absolutely.
So, all right, Carlos, thanks again.
Thanks, Bob.
Coming up, Brittany Boll and I will talk a little bit about the elections coming up.
A great night's sleep starts at Harvey's Furniture. Check out the large selection of complete bedroom sets. And when it comes to mattresses, we have a full selection from Bemco, Spring Air, and Chatham & Wells. Harvey's Furniture. Our home, your home.
Instant Replay is your local sports bar. With 18 big screen TVs, we have all the sports packages from college games to pro games. We offer daily drink specials, and come check out the Bullpen, our newly renovated beer garden. Instant Replay, 2739 Chestnut in Quincy.
Welcome to the Abbey, a Quincy tradition.
With 6 big screens, a new larger kitchen, and now more seating capacity, the Abbey is the place to be before, during, and after the big game. Come enjoy fan favorite appetizers, steaks, burgers, and a variety of daily food and drink specials. Can't join us? Carryout is available too. Now with a convenient drive-up window to better serve you. 1736 Spring in Quincy. Opens at 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday.
Come join all your friends at the Abbey, a Quincy tradition.
Quincy Warehouse Bargains is your Quincy home improvement store. It's the only store of its kind in the Quincy area. We offer flooring, mattresses, area rugs, dining sets, couches, appliances, and much more. And have more products to come so we can better serve the Quincy and tri-state community. Our staff is ready to help you find what you need to make your house a home. Quincy Warehouse Bargains, 4100 North 24th Street, Quincy.
Are you looking for the perfect venue for your next special event? Check out Utopia Event Center.
Utopia has a large banquet room and an awesome bar area, perfect for anything from birthday parties to formal corporate meetings. It also offers a photo booth, stage for a DJ or a live band, and a fully stocked bar, all for only $300. Check us out at utopiaeventcenter.com or call Barn at 217-430-6559 for more information. Utopia Event Center, 900 North 12th Street in Quincy.
Welcome back. Joining me now is Brittany Boll, and we are getting ready for Election Day Tuesday. And there are a lot of important things on the ballot. Yeah. I think school board probably the thing that people think about, but we also have two city council races as well.
Yeah. One of them is actually in my ward.
Affects you, yes.
Yeah, it's 7th Ward and the 6th Ward are the two that I think are up for election.
And in yours, you have how many people running?
we have 3 people running. It is Tim Seymour.
Seamer.
He is the conservative.
The Republican, yes.
And then there's Ben Uzlak. He is the Democrat. And then there's a write-in for Brennan Hills.
Yes.
He's also, I believe, Democrat.
He is the vice chairman of the Adams County Democratic Party, which you've got a write-in who is running against an incumbent in that office, which is who already has the seat. So that's a little different.
Yeah.
So
it will be interesting.
Yeah, and does that split those two and allow Seymour to win? That's going to be the big thing.
Who does he split the vote from? I mean, you would think it would be
the Democrats.
Yeah.
You would think, but we don't know.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting to look at that one. And
I do know that I've noticed Tim Seymour, he came to my door actually just yesterday. So I had a chance to talk to him and ask him a couple of his his ideas and things like that. One thing that was interesting is, if he is elected, something that I didn't realize is a lot of times with different city council votes, the mayor is the tiebreaker vote because our aldermen seem to be split down the middle. And usually it's on fiscal or financial decisions. So if he were to be elected into that, then I don't think the mayor would be the tie-breaking vote very much anymore.
Well,
provided everyone votes the same way that
that's the problem, though, that the party line votes aren't consistent on the city council.
True.
So who knows? I mean, once these new guys get in, we already know that we're going to have one new alderman. Glenn Ebbing is going to be in 5th Ward because John Mass didn't run again.
Okay.
So, and then everything else, I believe, will hold status quo with incumbents. And then you've got this race in the 7th Ward that we were talking about, but then you also have a 6th Ward race.
Which is Patty Maples.
Patty Maples against Jake Reed. Patty Maples is a longtime city employee, and she's the Democrat. Jake Reed is the Republican. He's the one who's been doing all the recycle stuff, following to go pick up recycling and things like that. He won a primary pretty handily that we had in February. So that's going to be a very tight race because, again, Maples was appointed to that spot when Katie Avercamp stepped down.
Okay.
So, again, she is an incumbent, but she has not been elected. But I know she's a very popular Democrat. Like I said, former city employee, but Jake Reed has been working really hard as well. So again, I think that 6th Ward race is going to be very, very close. The last time we had that race in a general election, and I believe it was against Josh Zanger was the Republican and Katie Avercamp was the Democrat. Katie Avercamp won by a handful of votes. I mean, we're talking around 10.
Pretty close.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be pretty close as well.
It's nice seeing Jake Reed it's nice seeing younger people get involved.
Absolutely.
I just thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and we've got that as well on in the other race too.
In the 7th Ward.
And what's going to then this will mean city elections are done until 2 years, and of course in 2 years then you have the mayor's race, and then I expect that we will probably start seeing things stir around for the mayor's race late this year. It could happen. We could have people poking their nose or poking their head up, or doing the wind and seeing. I think we could have that coming by the end of this year. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Yeah. So school
Never
board.
a dull moment.
No. And then we got school board, which has had so many people talking.
Yeah.
We've kind of got the two slates going at each other. Again, I think it's going to be close at the top, and then I think there'll be some separation. We'll see if people choose to split their ballots. These are supposed to be nonpartisan elections. They stress that.
Yeah.
But
I like the idea of splitting the ballot.
Yeah.
I like taking a little from here and taking a little from there, and I honestly think that would be the beneficial. But that's my opinion.
But I mean you get that way, you get a good mix, and people will say, well, that's going to create whatever, but we don't see create controversy or create discourse, if you will. But we really haven't seen a lot of that in school boards lately. They've all been pretty cohesive, and that's been a problem. A lot of people have said. People said, well, they just go along to get along, and they raise our taxes and blah blah blah, and that's part of some of the people are talking about here. And then there was also the lack of response. Many people felt dealt with COVID. But the the school's in its best shape financially. It's been in a long, long time. A lot of that is because they received the influx of COVID money. But again, you've got these 7 people running for 4 spots. And remember, you don't have to vote for 4. If you only like 2 of the candidates, you only have to vote for 2. But you're going to vote for 4, right?
Yeah, I have this theory that like if I throw away a vote, it's a waste. You know,
that's a very valid point. So I also appreciate you actually voting, unlike Ashley, who totally skipped out.
Well, I mean, she didn't intentionally.
She totally skipped out.
She didn't intentionally skip out.
She slacked in her patriotic duty.
I think people my age should be out there voting, and it's sad sometimes to know that they don't.
Yeah.
And it's just sad. You know, you can sit there and say, I don't pay attention to this, and I don't care because I just
I don't like anybody. I'm not going to vote.
Yeah, or like I don't know.
It's
ignorance is not always bliss.
Yeah, because we'll be lucky to have 25%, maybe 30% of the people vote in this election.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, again, when you're talking about the Quincy School District in particular, that's 55% of your tax bill.
Yeah, but they'll be quick to comment on, anything that's posted.
Yeah.
It's so easy to comment, but it's not, I guess, too easy to vote.
Voting, they have made voting so easy now.
I know.
I mean, David mailed in his ballot a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy. And of course, I was just teasing about Ashley. You know, we talked about that last week on the Club Muddy.
Yeah.
You know, her vacation kind of snuck up on her, I guess.
Yeah,
so,
I get it.
So,
but
it's still
here's
fun to give her
your
crap.
reminder for, if
Yes.
you're watching this tonight or sometime Tuesday, you have
until 7 o'clock Tuesday night to vote.
Is there not an extended vote? I mean, I thought that was like always the... No,
it's not a dance mix. There's no extended dance mix.
The end?
No, it's at 7 o'clock.
Right.
Now, if you are in line to vote at 7 o'clock, you will get to vote. So that is one thing. It's like they check the line and they'll look at 7 o'clock and they'll see the last person in line and they'll say, okay, everybody back to here.
Okay.
Now, if you show up after that point, no. But we usually don't have that problem here. It's places like Chicago that have that problem,
Okay.
And there's, again, check your I'm going to after the bottom of this, I will link the precinct where you go vote and all that good stuff. So make sure you take the time to vote if you haven't already entered your early vote. So
Yeah.
It's important, like she said.
important.
So thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for letting me be here.
I appreciate that. And we will see you tomorrow on the Daily Muddy.
Muddy River News. Our home, our news.